this demonstration, I'm going to show you how to use the beautiful new Baroque sentiments from the John Next Door 2021 Christmas collection. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do it rather than sort of a finished project. I want to show you how to use them. So we've got it here, we've got the hope where it's cut into a card. So it's actually cut into there. And this is from the video from making the poinsettias, if you want to see how to do this one. We then have them floating with the outside border as well. And then we have them sort of on a larger piece. So again, it's attached on, but instead of being separate letters, it's all in one word strip. And finally, what I'm going to start with is showing you this, how we can actually use almost like a jigsaw piece to actually create the joy, hope and peace running across them. And this comes from an idea from Barbara Deer. I'll take that little scrap off there, where she's done this on the front of this beautiful white box card, using the rectangular scene box die, and you've got the card inside there. So beautiful idea. So this is the one we're going to start with. So in the die set you will receive all the letters. So you'll get P-E-A-C-E for peace, H-O-P-E for hope, and J-O-Y for joy. So although you've got some duplicates, you have got those, so you're not having to sort of repeat a letter through. And again, I'm sure you could put other words together from these words. I know that you can get each E-A-C-H from there is one I've spotted so far. But you also get the outside lines for all of them, which enable you to cut them individually, like I've done the Y here. So with the outside line, you'll get an individual letter. Without that, you'll get it cut into the card. So we're going to start with showing you how to do the crossword piece. And what I've done is I've taken a piece of craft card and I've cut this down to 4 inches by 6 inches. And I'm just going to put it onto my self-healing cutting mat straight against the straight edges. And the reason is I want to start with hope and I want to get that in the right place. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to put that on one of the straight lines across the card, which gives me a straight line to start my letters on. So I'm going to start with the H. And I'm going to go H, O, get that in the right place, P and E, and I've got hope correctly. Okay, once I'm happy with that, take a piece of tape, tape those down, and then I can remove that piece there, because the next word I want is peace running down from here. So I take that tape and put it again using the mat as a guide, a straight line against that E, which then lets me put the P in place. I've already got the E, so I don't need that. A, C, and E. So there I've got peace. So again, take a piece of tape and tape that down. I then want joy. So I've got the J there. I've already got a piece of tape to tell me where that's going to be. J, I've already got the O. And we pop the Y in a nice straight line. And again, we just tape that down. And then remove that from the card. And I don't remove the tape at this time, I just trim off any raw edges. And remember, you can use these for taping your dies down, as you can use your tape 2 or 3 times at least. I'll just clear these out for this for this demo. And all I'm going to do now is to cut those into the piece of card. So I'm using my Kaleido, so I'm simply going to pop those in. And you'll find if you've got some of the smallest die cutting machines, certainly the strips, you can cut these dies in because they are quite small. I think each one is less than 1 inch. So we're just going to wind that through. I'm going to give that a couple of goes, just because I'm asking it to cut an awful lot in one time, or in one pass really. So do that. And then you have to carefully remove your tape, because obviously you've taped in quite a lot of places. So catch yourself a corner. I usually go where the dies are, and just take your tape off, and you'll find the dies actually come with that. I love using craft card for this because sometimes it actually takes a little bit of the surface off, which adds to that distressed look. So here we go, we're just getting the piece and the hope off, and you can keep those in place with your tape if you want to again to use that on a different card. And all I need to do is pop the little pieces out so that I've got all of the letters showing. And I could use the individual squares to put different colours behind them, or what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mat and layer this. So I'm going to turn that over, I'm going to grab a little bit of foam tape, and I'm simply going to add some foam tape around the edges. Oh yeah, I have just missed that bit, that's good. A little bit more. And what I do want to do is just support it where I've taken some out. So you can see there, I don't want that to float too much or to gape. So I'm adding a few little pieces of foam tape just to make sure that it does have that distance in there. And you could add acetate behind this and make it into a shaker card. It would make an absolutely beautiful shaker card. So we'll take these bits out. Bring that one in. There we go. Let's take that off. And all I've done here is get a piece of the waterfall card in silver from Craft Artist on a piece of our beautiful satin red, again Craft Artist card. Mount that on top, and there I've got the beautiful joy, hope and peace running through. I could use different colours. I could highlight it with little flowers or little foliage, or just leave it quite simple. And I think all of these sentiments will work for people that don't necessarily celebrate Christmas but celebrate the season, or you wish to send a greeting to at this time of year. So again, peace, hope, joy can be used for absolutely anything. So that's how we would cut it in, and again you could finish the card. I've done this time in green and red, decorated like that. So really simple. The second way that we can do these is to use them on a strip of card to create a strip that you would add on. So what I've done here is I've cut a piece of craft card down to 3/4 of an inch, which is just about 2 centimeters wide. And I think I'm going to use hope because I've already got that taped down. But you would do the same thing again of laying them out first and picking them up. So getting an even border here on the left hand side, I tape those and add them on. Let's bring our machine in. So again, I'm using the Kaleido, just clean off the plates. Oops, that one's flicked off. And again, just cut it. And as you see, you could put this in any of the little sort of Spellbinders sapphire machines, or diamond, or any of the little ones that they make. And we're just going to peel off, okay, our letters. Peeled a little bit of card off there, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to trim that down and then just take out again the waste pieces. So the letters all run into each other to spell hope, or I said any other words that you can come up with those letters. Really simple. And then all I would do is add a little bit of glue, or I'm going to use spray glue because it's a lot speedier. So I'm using Craft Mount by 3M. And I've cut a piece of card here down. This is the waterfall card again. And I've cut this to just short of 3/4 of an inch. So I put it into my guillotine at 3/4 of an inch and moved it over slightly, just so it's a little bit smaller, so that I don't have to trim off top or bottom. So all I have to do is just trim off that little bit there. And there we've got hope as a separate piece, which we could then foam mount on, as we've done with this card here. And this card was made in the Penny's Bauble demonstration. So if you want to see how to make this card, you'll see it in that video. But again, I could just put the hope on there as I've done with the joy. So the last one is how we cut them with the outside lines. And for this, I've just got 2 scraps of card. So I've got again a scrap of the craft card and a little bit of the Craft Artist satin. And what I want to do this time is we're going to use the joy. So I just need to get the individual letters and 3 of the outside lines. And this is why it's important that you have one for each letter rather than just having sort of 1 or 2 in a set. So a little bit of tape, turn the J over, pick it up with the tape, hover over the outside line, get it straight, tape it down. Do the same with the O. This needs just pricking out a little bit. So turn it upside down, or on, so a cut side down really. A little bit of tape, pick it up, hover over until it's even on the square and cut that. And finally with the Y, we'll do exactly the same. So pick it up with the tape, hover over when it's right. And you can do this on any scraps. I mean, I've actually done it in a line, but you don't have to at all. So here we go. Get my plates, pop it in. And again, I'm just going to bring my Kaleido in and cut that. Give it a couple of goes through because it's only small, and I might as well while I'm there. Turn it over and you can see now we pop out. Let's go through the right way. So there is our J. There is our O. And there is our Y. So you've got each letter separately held within its own square. Now there are two ways to put the back on this. You can use the separate squares and cut out squares to stick them on. To be honest, I find that a little bit of a faff. So what I tend to do is just take the individual letters. Again, I'm going to spray glue them because it's an easier, quicker way to glue them down. And I'm simply going to take them and stick them onto a scrap of the red card. So J, O, and the Y. You could actually build up little building blocks, couldn't you, and things like that. And then I'm just going to trim it out. It's find it a lot quicker doing this than cutting individual squares and trying to stick them onto individual squares. So this way, very quickly and easily, we've got our three letters, again in separate pieces. So there's my J, there's my O, there's my Y. And I could flat mount those or foam mount them on to any card I want to. And in this one, which was used in the foliage demonstration video, I've put them in the middle, just stuck on separately. And they really look to me very different to how they look when they're in the stripe. Again, completely different way of doing it, allows you to play with colour a lot more. So there's three different ways to use the brand new Baroque sentiments from the John Next Door Christmas Collection 2021.